Welcome back to Pokemon Episode Summaries. Today, we're doing episode 160, a Goldenrod Opportunity. Now, this episode's going to be a little different because I usually get the episode images from Cerebi, but Cerebi doesn't have any images for this one, so it was a lot harder to find images, so I only have like 5 here that it's going to cycle through, but hopefully my summary is good enough. The episode begins with Ash and the gang finally having reached Goldenrod City. I mean, I guess it hasn't been that long since the second gym badge, but it felt like it's been quite a while. The town was one of Johto's biggest, and Misty was absolutely amazed by this as she looked at all the shops nearby and debated which one to go into first. Brock, on the other hand, was focused on all the beautiful women that he saw roaming the streets. Ash then spotted what he was most interested in the town, some food stands, including a burger stand, which smelled absolutely delicious. Ash then remembered, though, that he was in Goldenrod City to get his third goddamn gym badge, so he resisted the urge to chow down and demanded that Brock and Misty resist their urges as well, so that they could go straight to the gym. Unfortunately, when Ash does manage to drag Misty and Brock to the gym with him, he finds a sign that says it was closed. Much to his disappointment, but Brock and Misty's pleasure, as now they could spend the rest of the day exploring the city to kill time until it was open, as the sign said that the gym would be open tomorrow. Brock suggests they check out the Goldenrod department store first because of how well known it was and how fucking huge it was, but he ends up getting Ash and the gang lost as he doesn't know where the fuck it was. With no one else suggesting where to go, Pikachu decided that he would try and lead Ash and the gang somewhere, so he turns back from the dead end that Brock had led them all to and proceeds to try and find somewhere to go. However, he only encounters a Clefairy, running directly into it due to how fast he was going. As Ash and the gang had been chasing after Pikachu, they saw this collision, and Ash instantly picked up the Clefairy to make sure it wasn't hurt. I don't know why he wasn't more concerned if his own Pokemon Pikachu was okay, but at least someone was, as a girl then ran down the street and asked if Pikachu was okay and picked him up and kissed him on the head. Doing so because she figured that kissing Pikachu on the head would cure a potential head injury. Because you know how your grandparents would always like be like, oh yeah, I'll kiss your boo-boo away, yeah, it was that type of shit. And seeing Whitney do this made Brock get excited as he started to simp as usual and literally rammed his head into a wall just so that he could get a head injury so he could ask Whitney to kiss his head. Fucking loser. Thankfully, Misty drags him away as usual, saying that Whitney only kissed boo-boos, not bozos. Damn, that's a fucking fire roast, Misty, I have to actually say. That's a good one. After Ash and the gang introduced themselves to the girl and explained that they were trying to get to the Goldenrod Department Center, the girl introduces herself as Whitney and tells them that she knew a way for them to get there. They eagerly follow her as she takes them to an underground path that also doubled as a shopping arcade. She explained that this shopping arcade acted as a shortcut to the main Goldenrod Department store, adding that it was pretty secret as she had found it all on her own and hadn't told anyone about the shortcut, leading Misty to say how lucky they were to have her as a guide in that case. However, Misty spoke too soon. Ash and the gang were definitely not lucky to have her as a guide, as this secret underground path ended up only leading them farther away from the actual department center. The girl claims that they must have simply taken a wrong turn, and they head back down the path, going a different direction around the midway point, although this just leads them to a Pokemon salon. This causes Ash and the gang to get fed up with the girl's terrible directions, and they state that they wanted a shortcut, not a haircut, and leave. Damn, what's with these good roasts this episode? Thanks, Cerebi, you're really providing some awesome roasts. Yeah, I guess I'll take this opportunity to mention now that I get a lot of the information for the episodes from Cerebi as well as Bulbapedia, and essentially what I do is I combine both of them because a lot of them have details that the other doesn't, and it essentially makes the ultimate complete summary, I would say. Obviously, I don't just take the summaries word for word, or I at least try not to. That's why I throw in my little jokes or my little jabs, but yeah. I feel like I don't say that enough, that if it wasn't for Bulbapedia or Cerebi, this series would not have made it as far as it had. Anyways, the girl chases after them, begging them to give her another chance to successfully lead them, but Ash rebuttals that he was getting hungry at this point, and just wanted to go back to that food stand that he saw earlier. Brock and Misty agree, but the girl simply states that she knew the way to the food stand too, so she offers to take them there. The gang reluctantly accepts, and ironically, the girl actually leads them to the department store instead of the food stand, completely by accident, leading the girl to comment on how she only knows where she's going when she doesn't know where she's going, and yeah, that definitely seemed to be the case. Anyways, Ash and the gang were more than happy to be at the department store, even though they were hungry at this point, so they followed the girl in through the department store's automatic doors, showcasing how high-end the department store truly was. Just kidding, the doors weren't automatic, this place wasn't that high-end, although the girl thought it was, so she ran straight into the glass. Idiot. Meanwhile, Team Rocket was inside the department store, and they were trying out some food, believing it to all be free samples, as they saw a little tray that had a sign next to it that said free samples. While they ate, they all claimed that food tastes so much better when it was free, and I mean, they're not wrong there. However, it was quickly revealed to them by one of the department store employees who ran up to them that what they believed were free samples were not all free samples, only that small tray. They had assumed that everything in the entire store was a free sample. This led the store employee to question why the fuck Team Rocket hadn't paid for any of the food, leading Team Rocket to do their motto, stating that they didn't pay for food because they were broke as fuck. The store owner simply demands that they pay for the food, once again stating how a lot of it wasn't free, but of course Team Rocket couldn't pay, so the store owner came up with a different solution, which was having them work off their debt. They eventually got to work selling several random items, such as turkey drumsticks, for some reason, when suddenly, a bored as fuck James looks around the store and spots the Clefairy from earlier, just walking around the store aimlessly for some reason. Upon seeing it, James alerts Meowth and Jessie, and the three of them ditch their job to go run after it, hoping that they could capture it and give it to Giovanni. Meanwhile, Ash and the gang and the girl had just finished their Goldenrod department store shopping spree, with Ash and Brock having to carry all of Misty's numerous possessions. much to their annoyance. As they all began walking out of the store, with Ash and Brock barely able to say anything due to exerting so much energy lugging around all the stuff, Misty decided to just talk to the girl by herself, apologizing to her for initially thinking that she was such a bad guide, stating that because of the girl's help, she was able to pick up a few things, which Ash and Brock groaned at, as they were definitely carrying way more than a few things. The girl simply laughs and explains that she was going to go on her way since she had successfully led Ash and the gang to the department store. However, just as she was about to leave, she screamed in panic, remarking that her Clefairy was gone. Ash and the gang were confused, but then they remembered that Clefairy that Pikachu ran into that incited their meeting with the girl in the first place, and realized that that Clefairy must have been hers, which was why she came running when she saw it crash. Knowing the truth, Ash and the gang agreed to help the girl find Clefairy, with Pikachu leading the way, likely due to feeling a bit responsible, since he thought that he might have scared it off. Now, how is Ash able to run and look for the Clefairy with all the shit in his arms, you may ask? Well, it's because he gave everything to Brock, so now Brock was just lagging behind. Ash and the gang didn't have to go very far at all anyways, though, as immediately after they began looking, they saw Team Rocket run out of the department store, as they had just successfully captured the Clefairy. Team Rocket debates sending out their Pokemon to battle against Ash and the gang, but they decide to run away instead. As Team Rocket run, they eventually encounter a train station for the brand new Magnet Train, a super fast monorail that was just designed. However, when they ask a person in the station when the next train was leaving, he reveals that it wasn't leaving until a year from next Tuesday, revealing the fact that the train wasn't actually open yet, and it was still being designed. Team Rocket simply stand there in disbelief at their misfortune, which gives Ash and the gang time to catch up to them. And it also allows the man next to them to leave, as he was like, "Why the fuck were you guys just standing here?" Team Rocket tried their best to further their escape by using a nearby handcar. However, the handcar goes so slow that when Ash tells Pikachu to go after them, Pikachu catches up in no time. With Pikachu in the right range, Ash then orders Pikachu to send Team Rocket blasting off with Thunderbolt, but Jessie, not wanting this to happen, surrenders and gives the Clefairy back to Ash. Whitney runs up and grabs Clefairy from Ash's arms, thanking Ash for all the help. With Ash and the gang and Whitney now distracted, though, Team Rocket took the opportunity to grab Pikachu while Ash wasn't looking. That's right, they obviously didn't intend to just surrender the Clefairy. They were fine with giving up Clefairy, but they had to at least take Pikachu in exchange. Not wanting to be responsible for Pikachu getting abducted, Whitney then orders her Clefairy to use Metronome, which results in a gust attack appearing that blows Pikachu from Team Rocket's arms back into Ash's. Ash wasn't going to fall for another surrender trick at this rate, so he immediately told Pikachu to go for a Thunderbolt for real this time, which not only shocks Team Rocket, but also the handcar itself and all of the passengers that were inside. That's right, Team Rocket had hijacked an active handcar, not just any handcar. Anyways, Brock realizes that the handcar's engine must have been electromagnetic, as the Thunderbolt causes it to speed away at uncontrollable speeds, sending Team Rocket not blasting off, but zooming away this time. Ash then thanks Whitney for doing her part to save Pikachu, with Whitney replying that she wanted to have a battle against Ash after seeing how strong his Pikachu was. Ash responds that he normally would love to have a battle, but he had to get ready for his gym battle tomorrow, and wanted to make sure his Pokemon were fully rested. Whitney then questions why Ash just hadn't gone to the gym already, stating that she could have opened the gym for him and they could have had their battle already. This made Ash confused, as with the gym closed, there shouldn't have been anyone else who could open it, aside from gym staff. So, this led Ash to eventually believe that Whitney was part of the gym staff, and suggested that she was the gym's cleaning lady. Whitney simply laughs, not at Ash, but at herself, as she realized how fucking dumb she was, that she forgot to introduce the most interesting fact about her, which was that she was the Goldenrod City gym leader. That's right, guys. I'm sure you all knew that already, though. After Ash recovered from his shock, Whitney then led Ash and the gang to the gym, and decided to reopen it despite it being closed for the day. Ash's third Johto gym battle was about to begin, and the referee declared that it would be 3-on-3, just like almost every other gym battle up to this point. As the battle began, Whitney sent out her Nidorina, and Ash sent out his Cyndaquil. Whitney started things off by ordering a poison sting, but Cyndaquil was able to destroy the stinger with a flamethrower, so Whitney then went for a tackle, but the flamethrower was powerful enough to blast the Nidorina back, knocking it out. Ash had won the first battle just like that. Whitney's obviously surprised by how quick the battle was, and I mean, damn, I am too, and she sends out her Clefairy next, immediately ordering it to use Metronome. The Metronome results in a Splash, though, which was definitely not the attack that Whitney was hoping for, as Splash was fucking useless. Cyndaquil takes the opportunity to use yet another flamethrower on the Clefairy, but Whitney simply recalls it into its Pokeball, stating that she didn't want to see Clefairy get hurt since it was defenseless. Ash began to get cocky at this point, as he had literally just knocked out two of Whitney's Pokemon in one fell swoop. As with Whitney being the gym leader, she wasn't allowed to recall her Pokemon, so Clefairy was therefore disqualified. However, Ash would soon realize that he had no reason to be getting cocky, as Whitney sent out her final Pokemon, Miltank, and if you've played the games, you know that this thing is a goddamn bitch. Ash, never having seen Miltank before, uses his Pokedex on it, and it claims that Miltank was a Pokemon who preferred not to battle, but this clearly wasn't the case, as Whitney then ordered Miltank to use Rollout, and it slammed straight into Cyndaquil, sending it flying. Ash tried to have Cyndaquil use Tackle, but it couldn't make contact, and the Miltank just kept bombarding Cyndaquil with Rollout after Rollout after Rollout, until Cyndaquil was knocked down. Ash sends out his Totodile next, but Whitney simply orders another Rollout, heading straight for Totodile. Ash tries to order a Water Gun to counter, but Miltank does not stop in its tracks. Whitney then explained that Rollout was a move that got stronger by the moment, so every second that Miltank stayed in the Rollout position, it would only be able to do more damage. Ash tells Totodile to move the fuck out of the way, but it's unable to dodge, and the Rollout makes contact, knocking it out in one single hit. Ash debated which Pokemon to send out next for his final Pokemon, But Brock advised him to just hurry up and select Pikachu, as the longer Ash waited to send out his next Pokemon, the more power Miltank would be able to gain, as it could just keep rolling and rolling while it waited. Brock then clarified that the reason why he wanted Ash to send out Pikachu specifically was because, although Totodile's Water Gun didn't really do much damage, it did make Miltank wet, pause on that. So that meant that it would more easily conduct electricity, so Pikachu could shock it. Ash does as Brock suggested, sending out Pikachu and telling him to use Thunderbolt, which makes contact, but it still has no effect, since Miltank was still spinning, and it was able to deflect off any attack. With Whitney also explaining that since Miltank was going so fast, it had already dried off anyways, so even if the Thunderbolt could make full contact, it wouldn't have had the intended effect. Whitney commended Ash on at least trying to think of a strategy, but explained that anything he did would be futile to her goddamn Miltank. Whitney proved to be right, because even though Ash tried to have Pikachu use agility to escape Miltank's incoming rollout, it wasn't able to escape, and rollout made contact, knocking Pikachu out. Pikachu tried its best to get up, but it couldn't. Whitney had won the battle. That's right, our protagonist actually lost something for once. Whoa! The episode ends with Whitney recalling her Miltank, congratulating it, and telling Ash that if he ever wanted a rematch against her, she'd be happy to accept his challenge, as she walked away, leaving Ash standing there, shocked as ever. I guess I should also mention quick that this episode was technically the first episode of Season 4 in the English dub, Johto League Champions, so yeah.